Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great day and thanks for clicking on this video and watching my channel. Today I'm going to be making a video about something that's a little bit more serious. So if you are triggered about mental disabilities or eating disorder, then maybe you don't want to watch this video, but I just want to make this because I think it could help other people if you are experiencing what I had experienced, and or you are experiencing it now, or know somebody, or just want to know my story. Then keep watching. So I'm going to start with my history around eating and my history, how the eating disorder developed, I guess. It's a little bit might be some tricky to tell a story because I do feel not like that person anymore. So I'm not in that mind state anymore. So if I seem really detached or removed from the story, it's because I don't really feel like that person anymore. But I can tap into that person again, obviously, and in order to gain empathy and help others. I think that is the reason why we go through things like this. So yeah, let's get into it. So I've always loved food so much, and I've always had an awareness around food. If you're into astrology, my moon is Virgo, so that's it's an earth sign, very detail oriented, very analytical, very nervous, anxious energy, and very sensitive when it comes to diet and health and the stomach. So they often are finicky eaters or just aware about food and health in general, and that was no different for me. I've always been like a very active person, a very healthy person in terms of healthy diet, healthy appetite. I was always the first person to ask for more and eat, and I've always been quite an emotional person as well. So I can quickly see in my childhood how food turned into a coping mechanism for my emotions and the things I was experiencing around me. It quickly became a way of controlling my reality. Yeah, exercise was too. So around middle school, I first became a vegan and started using exercise as a way to cope with my emotions, which was healthy and awesome. So I like to do Pilates, and I ran a lot. But I guess when I hit high school, freshman year, 9th grade, I started to develop more of an unhealthy view about my body and what it meant to be beautiful, and what it meant to be healthy. So I thought, like, no matter, like, as long as no one could tell or see what I was going through inside, that it was just my business, and how I dealt with it was my way, because no one else had to be in my body, you know. Very separate mentality. So I started running a lot. I ran about at least an hour and a half every day, and the meals that I ate became less and less, and the hours I ran became more and more. So eventually I stopped eating. I ate like one meal a day. I would go to school and not eat all day or have breakfast. I wouldn't have breakfast, wouldn't have anything, and then be starving, be like so hangry. When I got in the car, I would be like a monster shouting at my mother, and then we would go get like fast food, or she would quickly drive home, and I would make like a bunch of tater tots and like a bunch of junk food and eat it, and then run it off. And that was, yeah, the reality for like a few months. I also remember when I was younger, like my older cousin showed me how to throw up. And this might sound really weird, and again, trigger warning. I don't want to set anyone back, but yeah, she was just like, oh, I don't know, you stick your hand down your throat and then you throw up. I guess I remembered that trick then I started to do it. And I think the first time I ever did it, my mom actually heard me, and she knocked on the door and she was like, what are you doing in there? And I told her what I was doing, and she was like, don't do that, that's not good. And I think I told her I wouldn't do it anymore. But yeah, that happened a few times. It was she caught me multiple times. It was very obvious that I was doing it. Fast forward to my high school self, like freshman year, I eventually sorted that I could just eat a big meal, throw it up, and then run after. I probably did that for all of freshman year, all of sophomore year, and yeah. And then eventually I stopped running because I didn't have that much energy to run anymore. So and at this point I was feeling the side effects of my choices in my body. And I'm a dancer. Like I said, I've always been a very physical person. So I was very just removed from my body, very detached during this time of my life. So my heart, I could barely like sustain a high pace activity for very long. So I couldn't run anymore. But that I kept binging and purging every day. And I got to the point where I was very vocal about the issue, because I could see that this was becoming an issue and it wasn't very healthy. But at the same time, I didn't know how to stop because it was an addiction. I didn't know how to eat something and then not want to throw it up immediately after. I didn't know how to communicate the way I was feeling about my reality to my family, to my friends. And the issue was a lot that actually, or the lack thereof, I actually was alone a lot. So I found a lot of time to do whatever I wanted. And I thought like I could do whatever I want with this time, and if it wasn't hurting anyone else, then why would they care? But obviously like that thinking was not very rational, and I can see how, that's very, a painful mentality, because you are a part of everyone else too. You matter as well. I mattered. I didn't see that I mattered, which was the issue. So senior year, this kept going. This is still my reality. I spoke to my mom about it several times at this point, and she kind of dismissed me. She would say like, kind of just like, get over it. It's something you'll overcome. Like, this is not an issue. Never once did I get treatment or therapy or speak to anyone about it. And I just felt like I was two different people. I was two different Mayas. I was the person that people saw at school, the really happy person, the helpful person, the light. And then I was the darkness, the person that I was to myself. And I guess you could say in psychology terms, I experienced what they would call cognitive dissonance. And I think a lot of people, this is occurring maybe where they're conscious of or not. The way that I treated others, the way that I thought about the world was not how I treated myself. So I was always so loving, always so happy. I just wanted to help people, love people, make people laugh, truly, truly give. And I was not even giving any of that love to myself. So I remember after I graduated high school, I took a summer in New York to stay with my family and just to be in the city, hang out. And people would, like my aunt, I remember she found bags of like vomit in my room. And she'd be like, oh, what is this? And I was just like, oh, this is something I do. Yeah, I have a problem. And I don't think people really know how to deal with these things, because I never got help for it. During the time in New York when I was at the peak of the eating disorder, I would say. This woman like stopped me on, I was walking in Soho, and this woman, it was funny, and this man, I was wearing like this cool outfit, like jean shorts or whatever, like cool sunglasses, and I had big flowing hair, and this man asked me if he could photograph me for this online magazine he was shooting, and I was like, wow, so cool, like I look so good, yeah. And then like right after that, this woman, I was walking, and this woman, she stopped me and she said like, you have to do, I never do this, even though she probably did, I don't know, but I believed her. Very naive, I guess. She stopped me on the side of the street. She was like, I never do this, but you have like darkness around you. You have this light, but you have darkness around you. Please come with me and I can help you, la la la. And me, like I said, being me, I went with her, and she, you know, just, it was very visible. That's what I'm trying to say. Everyone that you can see anything could see that I was in great pain. So I very much felt alone, very isolated, and I guess that pushes you deeper into the hole of the addiction, the eating disorder, right? So I fast forward, I go to university, and I still have this problem, and now I have this roommate, and I have to, you know, navigate having this eating disorder with a roommate. And so like I found ways to like sneak around and binge and purge, like when my roommate wasn't there, or, you know, go to the bathroom by myself. And it was just a dark time, very secretive, very just isolated, very dark, very dark time. And at that time, like I tried to go to therapy, talk about it, and that helped for me to develop a sense of awareness about what I was doing and why I was doing it. So being aware about what triggered me to want to binge and purge, being aware of that feeling, and transmuting that feeling into something that's more productive, channeling that energy into something more productive. Because if you can imagine, all of my time, all of my mental, emotional, spiritual, physical energy was devoted to this problem, this eating disorder. So whenever I was having a conversation with anybody, whenever I was in class, whenever I was with friends, all I could think about was the next time I was able to binge and purge, or if we were eating, you know, food's a big part of our culture, big part of our everyday life, and I felt as though I couldn't participate with my friends in that way, or if I did, it made me feel extremely guilty, and I had to immediately leave the situation and purge. And obviously my friends could tell something was wrong. People can tell that something was, I think people could tell that something was wrong with me. But how do you help somebody? Because it's truly your choice to, I felt like I feel it is your choice to heal and overcome your journey step by step. It's up to you, you know? So I had to be strong and heal myself, and how I did that was, like I said, developing awareness. I like to just, it's a little bit difficult for me because I don't feel like I'm in that place anymore, but I had to develop an awareness about why I was feeling the way I was feeling, and allowing myself, loving myself enough to give myself a healthier outlet, because at this point, as you can imagine, my body was quickly deteriorating. My teeth I had so many cavities, and I do believe that you can heal your teeth through your diet. Now I feel like I have way less cavities. I probably still have some, but through eating healthier, I was able to heal. But yeah, like I had cavities, my body, my joints, my body, I could barely even walk. My heart was so unhealthy. I felt like there were holes developing in my heart, in my chest, if that makes any sense. Like the acid it was like so much destruction was happening internally. And I had to heal that, because I could not see myself in a healthier way if I was in a healthier state. I could not, you know, I was attracting all these negative things to me because I was literally embodying this darkness. And I had to step away. Like I said, heal myself, because no one could do it for me. No one, I put myself into the hole. I guess I had to get myself out, you know? So I started, like I said, just truly loving myself, just truly wanting the best for myself. If I felt like I wanted to binge and purge, I would eat a healthy snack and go on a walk and listen to music, or writing a lot, because writing, I feel like if you haven't used something, you must write every day, at least for the first 3 months of recovery, because you have to develop an awareness of yourself, because the whole purpose of eating disorder or any kind of level of self-harm is that you're pushing yourself away from yourself. It's a way of like, because you're in so much pain that you just want to control, and the only thing that you feel like you can control is yourself. So you want to hurt yourself, you want to separate yourself from yourself so you don't have to feel what you're feeling. But you know, that only leads to more pain. You have to truly let go, expand further into yourself, if that makes sense. So I had to do the opposite of, I had to learn how to really do the opposite of what I had taught myself to do, and now how to survive in the past. The biggest way that I healed was being honest with myself and being honest with those around me about what I was feeling and who I truly am. I feel like eating disorders occur because you are not accepting yourself, you're not being honest with yourself, and you are having to find a way to cope with that on a daily basis. Last time I binged and purged was around 3 years ago. So I feel very lucky and blessed to not be in that place anymore. And even if those feelings come back and the darkness thoughts comes back, I try to just deal with them in a healthier way, making art, talking to someone, being in the sun, being in my body, doing yoga, breathing. That during that time of my life, I was in so much darkness. I would just lie down in bed and just do nothing all day except cry or binge and purge. And you can imagine, how can that help anybody, you know? That is just, you're just seeking further and further into that reality. So I'm trying to make a mission to be in the sun every day, to just breathe and love every day. That might be a cliche, and it is a journey that comes step by step, every day, moment by moment, but it is possible. There was once a time where I thought I could never live a normal life that wasn't including binging and purging, and here I am today telling you that I am. And I feel very blessed and happy most of the time, just because grateful is the better word, I guess. Happy is a good word too, but grateful, just because I don't have to be in that place anymore. And if you are in that place, like I said, it is possible for you to feel better, and you are not alone. That is why I'm making this video, because I want you to know that there are many, many people like you, and you are not alone, and you are beautiful, and you my camera died. But you are beautiful, and you are lovely, and you are amazing, and you're special, and I love you. You are very much loved in this world. You are a manifestation of the universe. I am, we all are. So if we are hurting ourselves, there is no way we can ever heal the world or help the world or even be happy in the world, because we're manifesting that dark energy inside. Like kind of like the saying, to change the world, change yourself. If I expect to change the world or have a good life at all, I need to change myself and foster the good energy so that I may attract better reality, right? That only makes sense. So I had to find things that actually made me happy, because I love food and I love eating and I love being in my body, and there are healthier ways to do that. So if you feel like eating a lot, don't feel guilty about it. Eat as much as you want. But if you start to feel sick, don't push yourself to keep eating if you don't want to. Just save it for later and enjoy it for later. There's more pleasure to come for the future. I feel like that is a way more healthier perspective than feeling like, oh, I came this far, I already must eat now. I should just keep eating because I'm already gross and disgusting. Like, then you'll keep attracting that energy. If you see someone who is attractive, have a good body, whatever you think a good body is, if you know they are feeling themselves, they are clearly beautiful, like loving themselves, how do you think they feel about themselves? Do you think they like being in their skin, or do you think they don't? I can bet you they do like to be in their skin, and they find themselves to be at home where they are. I feel like people can manifest fat on their body because they're building comfort. They're literally building a shell from the outer world, a protection, a layer of protection from the outer world. It manifests in their body. But if you say it's like someone who's maybe more slimmer or something, maybe they don't feel like they need to, you know, manifest protection in that way. Maybe even they feel like to be skinny is something that, you know, they don't want, and, you know, they wish they could be bigger, but so therefore they're manifesting themselves to be skinnier because, you know, they're fighting it. So basically you can manifest yourself to be however you want. You are the creator of your reality. So if you're having these darkness problems, understand that you are a creator of your reality, and it starts from inside of you. So however you want to manifest your world, focus on the positive changes on that. Focus on manifesting through writing, visualization, meditation, breathing, just feeling good inside of yourself and flowing that outward. And I guarantee you'll be able to see changes not only in your body but in your mind, in your whole life, and you'll be happier. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you. Bye.